Hi, Mr. C here. I'd like to talk to you about the inside-out insane ornament that we're turning that I'm going to give to you. I want to, now that I have it mounted in the lathe, between the transition from our last video to right now, I had made some decisions about how I really wanted this to be mounted on. I didn't feel very comfortable just with the super glue. So what I did was I put a block on the end here and I used some double stick tape. Let me just bring you over here so you can see here. What I did is on this joint right here, going all the way around, I put double stick tape on the plywood and then on the end grain, just one layer, of course, and so that way I know this is going to hold and it's going to help hold it together along with the tape and the rubber bands, because this is not glued together as a solid block. Okay, and then on the other end I had done the same thing. I made sure it was lined up with my pencil lines on the joints. As you can see here, that joint and that joint are lined up with the seam. And then what I did was I took the liberty of finding the center of the piece, and I drew a line straight up, and then I went 3.5 inches out this way from the center line, 3.5 inches out that way, and I just struck an arc to the best of my ability by hand. I know I did not measure it completely, but I think it's pretty close for what we want to do. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down here, and then I'm going to take down the edges just a little bit, and that way we can flip it around and we can have the inside out. So that's what I'm going to do with this segment right here, is I'm going to go ahead and just hollow out that inside portion of the spindle, and I'm going to use my large roughing gouge here to take care of that business. So without further ado, that's what I'm going to do. Now remember, when we're starting with a rough object, okay, and what I mean by a rough object is an object that is still square in shape is considered in the rough, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, get you as close as I possibly can. All right, now I'm going to take my tool rest, and I'm going to rotate this to make sure it doesn't hit. And I'll lock it in place as soon as I feel that it's close enough. So this is close enough. I'll move my tool out of the way and go ahead and hit the start button. I'm going to keep it low RPM, and remember how we talked about how proper stance is really, really important. Remember, I'm working from largest diameter to smallest diameter. Let's go ahead and check out our progress. So I've eliminated a lot of the pencil line on this side. I still have some more on this side. So let me go ahead and kind of chop that away. think that's what we want. Okay. Pretty close. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my other tool. I'm going to grab a large finishing tool, which is called a scraper. I'm going to turn up the RPM some, not too much. And I just want to basically take care of any irregularities on that surface. Okay, so now you can see I created that dish out that I was hoping for. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sand this surface with my different grits. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and move my tool rest out of the way. I'll just lift off the tool rest, place over here. So now you can see, what we've done as far as, you can kind of see the profile here. All right, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand up the surface with 100 grit sandpaper. Okay. What I'm going to do over the next couple minutes is I'm going to sand with the 100 grit, the 120, 150, 180, 220 grit, and then I'll turn this back on and show you what it looks like with the finish on the surface, okay? Alright, until next time, this is Mr. C working in the shop on your Insane Ornament number 1. Alright, bye.